Do you want to know how to hold employees accountable without all the drama? In this video, I'm going to be talking about how to properly hold employees accountable in your business. Hi, everyone. My name is Danny. Today, I'm talking about something I hear often from leaders, and that's accountability. For some leaders, this is an overwhelming task, and I get it. It's challenging because there is a subtle balance between enforceable punishment and demonstrating understanding. It takes incredible finesse to acknowledge an employee's mistakes while still reinforcing the importance of following directions. If we confront discipline without providing solutions, it can lead to further discontent among employees. Alternatively, if too much leeway is given when enforcing rules, it can create feelings of inconsistency and unfairness within the work environment. So, mastering the art of holding others accountable while preserving their sense of value demands creativity and genuine commitment from a leader who understands each unique situation they encounter. But hey, you're watching this video because of that, and I'm going to share with you how to hold employees accountable in a way that's fair and effective. So, stay tuned and take notes. We're getting started. First, before there is ever a situation that requires us as leaders to address, we must first set our team up for the best chance of success. Simon Sinek once said, get the environment right, get the right behaviors. Get the environment wrong, get the wrong behaviors. This is so true. Our employees or followers are our greatest asset, and we owe it to them to create the right environment that supports them in being their best selves. Giving feedback to employees should be looked at as a social responsibility. Providing timely and frequent feedback not only helps employees understand the company's expectations, but also encourages them to become more aware of their strengths and opportunities. Giving timely feedback can also offer motivation to help employees course correct if they're falling short of goals and positively reinforce and reward them for jobs well done. Regular and timely feedback is essential for increasing employee engagement and performance, building trust, improving communication, keeping everyone on the same page about company's goals and the expectations, as well as fostering positive work environment overall. Regular feedback is one of the best ways you can keep your team motivated, engaged, accountable, and empowered. So, did I say regular and timely feedback is important? Your human resources team is going to love this point, but you got to make sure you're properly documenting employee performance because this has been becoming increasingly important for businesses. Not only does it help managers to better evaluate personnel and hold employees accountable for their actions, but it also serves as an invaluable tool for tracking progress and identifying areas of opportunity. So by taking the time to document employee performance and holding regular evaluations, that timely feedback, you as an employer can keep your workplace productive, ensure your team is delivering positive results. And so I also have to say, you're going to record the bad stuff, the bad behaviors and the bad performance, but you also have to make sure as a leader, you're recording the good stuff, the good behaviors and the good performance. That's only fair for your team as you recording this information and providing it back in like end of year reviews or on the spot coachings. That's fair and proper. You got to be balanced. And the other thing I want to say too is the importance of documenting on a regular basis can be a lifesaver to you as a leader. Unfortunately, there's some situations where employees say things about the leader. And if you're doing regular and consistent documentation with everybody, with the good stuff and the bad stuff, that can actually protect you in the long run if you're doing the right things as a leader. Unfortunately, effective leadership isn't just giving compliments and recognitions all the time. Sometimes it calls for corrective action against an employee not performing up to standards. It's important that when you're holding employees accountable, you got to be fair and objective. Corrective action should never, ever be centered around getting rid of an employee or viewed as punitive punishment. In fact, it should be seen as a constructive way to help employees reach their potential by properly managing their behaviors. As a leader, you must approach corrective action with the underlying intention of supporting the employee. If support is given in the right way, then everyone can benefit. So as a leader, a focus should always be on the behaviors that need to change and not attacking the person overall. The good thing is, from my experience, that most team members that get the first step in corrective action do not repeat the behaviors that caused the disciplinary process to start in the first place. And that's good because that's what you want, to deter undesired behaviors and encourage the desired ones. So remember, do not attack the employee, focus on the behavior that needs to change, Do not use corrective action to get rid of someone. And your mindset as a leader should be to support the employee in every reasonable way possible to improve behaviors, which would ultimately improve performance. And so the last point on that too is, unfortunately, there comes a time when we have to maybe let someone go or terminate someone because their vision doesn't line up with ours. But if that comes to that point and you follow this process, you can be assured as a leader that you did everything possible to support them and prevent this situation. Consistency is paramount when it comes to a leader holding their employees accountable. It sets the right example for those in the organization and helps maintain a culture of fairness and objectivity. This means when it comes to evaluating an employee's performance, you have to hold everyone to the same standard by following the same process for everyone, regardless of how well they are currently performing. And so let me make this point. I, as a leader, we often instinctively, whether you're new or experienced, see bad performance or see somebody not performing, and we run to it. You can be new or you can be seasoned. It's just instinctive, like poor performance, address it. But on the other hand, you have to make sure that you're being consistent and fair with your top performers or the people that's performing as well. So when I give you a point, so when I talked about documenting everything, you have to make sure that when you have somebody that's performing well, you're consistently documenting their good behavior, their good performance, the things that they're doing well, so that 6 months from there and mid-years, if you do that, or 12 months later down the line, if you when you're doing annual reviews, you have an accurate record of their great performance, and you're not just thinking about the last couple of weeks or the last few days when you're evaluating them. The other point when it comes to top performers too is a lot of times top performers get the bad end of the stick when there's a poor performer near there. And so what I mean by that is you have something that needs to get done. You don't want to give it to your poor performer, the person that's not doing well. So you give it to your top performer. And then after a while, the top performer's workload is increased because you have somebody who's not delivering or not doing well on the team. That's not fair for the top performer. And so you got to make sure you're consistent in all ways when you're delivering accountability to your team. One of the best parts about creating a process of accountability or a culture of, around accountability is celebrating success. Leaders who celebrate success recognize the hard work and efforts from their team members. It is a great way to motivate them while showing appreciation for their work. So leaders also need to hold their teams accountable, being fair and objective when mistakes occur. Of course, as humans, we make mistakes. They're going to happen. So instead of seeing a failure as an opportunity to reprimand, encourage your team to learn from it. Discuss what went wrong and how it could be prevented in the future. Acknowledging mistakes is a fantastic way to show that you are taking the achievements of your team seriously and understand that progress will inevitably bring some level of failure along with it. So remember, we are imperfect human beings, and so mistakes happen. Mistakes are not the end of the world and don't mean they're necessarily an opportunity to reprimand, but they're most likely learning opportunities. And as your team learns and grows from mistakes, be sure to always recognize and celebrate those successes. Hopefully you took great notes, but let's recap just in case you didn't. So first, as the leader, you are responsible for creating an environment that encourages the right behaviors. Secondly, give your employees timely and frequent feedback on their performance, good or bad. This is very important. Then always make sure you document employee performance. Many companies have processes for you to do this. I personally used to keep a small notepad and took down notes. And at the end of the week, I would add my notes into the system. So that way I schedule time and I never miss doing it. Next, don't be afraid to take corrective action if necessary. Sometimes you just have to. Fifth, be consistent with everybody in every process. And then make sure, lastly, you celebrate successes and help your team learn from failures. Holding employees accountable is not the fun part of being a leader, but the responsibility comes with the role. So be sure to partner with your human resources team and senior leadership for more complex employee situations. Hey, and you know what they say, right? Nothing great was ever achieved without accountability. So holding your team to a higher standard of performance and conduct benefits everyone. Not only will accountability improve their productivity and attitude, but it also shows that you take their efforts seriously. So, from increased profits to high morale, the benefits of holding employees accountable are numerous. So, go forth and make accountability a priority. Both you and your team will be glad you did. Thank you so much for watching. If you like content like this to help you grow as a leader, be sure to subscribe to our channel. And as always, never forget, you are the leader you choose to be.